Oh, Raider Nation. Tough one yesterday. It's a tough one. Kind of glad I didn't do any sort of stream the other day.
Oh, right.
You know, I there was no reason to hop on here yesterday. I'd have said things that I regretted. Um, it is the first game of the season. I'm rusty. They were rusty, it seemed. But yeah, instant reaction would have just been me getting pissy and mad at everything, and nobody wants that. I mean, maybe some of you want that because I see who gets popular on Raiders Twitter. It's usually the most outlandish, wrong person, but the loudest person tends to win. Technically, it's like first take. Uh, but let me just get this tweeted out to everybody. Everybody I'm supposed to say this. I hate saying it, but like it does help. Can you guys just like it? If you like this stuff, can you press like on YouTube? I'm not a big fan of the whole like and subscribe thing, but it'd be great if you did both, to be honest, if you don't already. And yeah, I'm just gonna tweet the link out here and then we'll really get started. So, okay, let's do this. Oh, yeah, where to start? Okay, tough loss. Extremely tough loss. Division game, week 1 against the opponent that is probably the most hyped team in football. All right. This is the LA Chargers. I should tell you guys right now as a disclaimer, there is a person with a gun to my head right here because I do have to. He's right off screen. He doesn't want to be. You don't want to public. Forcing me to say some maybe positive things about the Chargers. So keep that in mind. If you're positive things about the Chargers, it's not really me saying that. The Chargers look really fucking good, particularly on defense, which is last year was really their problem. They'd have some problems maybe being a little conservative on offense, but on defense, like they really have this. What you've seen on that defense for the Chargers is the fruits of drafting well over the past 3 to 4 years. And there are certain things on the Raiders, especially depth wise, you're seeing kind of the struggle of failing to draft well in the last 3 to 4 years, especially with your early round picks. The Chargers have Rashawn Slater. The Chargers have Justin Herbert, right? Justin Herbert was what, 6th overall, 5th overall. Cleveland Ferrell, 4th overall, right? Like you're seeing certain things on these teams, discrepancies in the way that they've used draft capital the last couple of years. Rashawn Slater, Josh Palmer, the ability, not even just drafting, the ability to sign a guy like DeAndre Carter, a speedy guy, plug him into that system where he can step in for Keenan Allen. Corners like Asante Samuel that they draft in the 2nd round, whereas Raiders drafting Trayvon Mullen in the 2nd round. You see what I'm saying, right? And maybe I can't remember. Asante Samuel might have been late first. I don't remember if they traded up or not. But like I said, people like to make a big deal. It's like Khalil Mack, he's on the Chargers. Man, it'd be real nice if we had a guy like that. Like hush, hush, wink, wink. Haha, we used to have him. Yeah, that's cool. But we could have turned Khalil Mack. Jeffrey Simmons was available with the pick that we could have made, right? What the Raiders could have made. So you're seeing kind of a lot of discrepancies where the Chargers lost their best corner and their best receiver, right, for this game. And they had guys come in and play at not at that person's level, but at least at a replacement value rather than a liability on that team. Trayvon Merrick goes out. We have Roderick Teamer. It's not somebody I'm super happy about back there. Touchdown, tough play, but Roderick Teamer gives up a touchdown. I'm just getting through some of the minor observations that I saw before I get to the Derek Carr stuff. I will not scapegoat Derek Carr on this one. I know some of you accuse me of being a Derek Carr stan, but I view myself as a Derek Carr objectionist. Or I'm sorry, objectivist. Not objectionist, objectivist, right? Where I try to look at him objectively rather than emotionally, which is tough to do when the guy's played quarterback for going on 9 years for your team. It's tough to have an objective take on him, but I feel like I do. Now, as far as coaching goes, Brandon Staley makes a really dumb play where it would look like 4th and a long yard. Like it didn't look like 4th and inches. quarterback sneak. Max Crosby makes a Troy Polamalu-esque play, stops Justin Herbert short. Chance for momentum to swing. It doesn't happen. Right? Derek Carr throws a really bad interception. To me, that was his worst one. Was the one to Waller. I think a lot of people are trying to say that it's a bad throw rather than a poor decision. And in my opinion, I think, yes, a perfect throw, and that's a huge play, possibly a touchdown. However, the reason I liked this McDaniels offense coming to Las Vegas was the fact that I liked Derek Carr in those first read offense. First read, you take what's given to you. Take what's given to you. You take what's given to you. You paper cut this team to death, right? Now, the Chargers defense, I think, is best at baiting you into trying to, oh my gosh, we're playing the Chargers. We got to win this. I got to dump it down the field. I got to play Madden. I got to play Madden against this defense. Just four verts all day. I got to hit these guys. And I thought that there were, even on that Waller play, yeah, a perfect throw hits Waller and amazing. And Justin Herbert made that same throw. Like earlier in the game, it was, I mean, the guy's got a special arm, where I will never sit here and tell you, as much as I doubted Justin Herbert, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Derek Carr's better. He's not. So that's why I say underneath, if you watch that play, and that seems to be the play, this interception where Waller was the intended receiver, this seems to be the screenshot play of Raiders Twitter. Seems to be the screenshot one. There's always one or two plays, right? There's always the screenshot. This guy was open. In my opinion, Hunter Renfro's underneath. You get 7 yards. You could probably get out of bounds. If not, you have 3 timeouts. That's what I loved about this offense. I'd like to see that utilized in this offense. And I think Derek Carr's problem, other than the stuff that we know isn't going to change, we know his pocket presence is like iffy sometimes, especially after he fumbles once. It's never just one fumble, right? It's always a couple. He either doesn't fumble at all or like 5 fumbles, and it's like every time, like comical, like on cue, as if the ball like becomes 1,000 degrees in his hand and it just comes out like, fuck, I don't want this thing, like that's what happens. But, and I'll get to that a little bit later, because that's later in the game. But I thought this was where the game could have really swung the Raiders' way, even more so than the final drive. Was you have that play where you get the touchdown, you get the give the touchdown to Herbert coming off the interception, where the interception trying to play hero ball when maybe that's not exactly your game. It sounds to me like Derek Carr spent all offseason, because he has a brother in media, listening to, he's the 4th best quarterback in that division. He's the 4th best quarterback in that division, which is probably true, right? Which is probably true. That doesn't mean you cannot win against better quarterbacks. That doesn't mean that. Mitch Trubisky beat Joe Burrow. I know a lot of freaky things happen. There's things that happen. Like, you can beat Justin Herbert. There were plenty of ways to do that. But you paper cut him to death. Hit him underneath. Tire them out. Time of possession. Tire these guys out. Eventually they miss a tackle. You have 3 guys that can run after the catch. And you saw 2 of the 3. Renfro didn't have his best game, but 2 of the 3 guys exhibit that run after catch situation that you can do it. I'm seeing in the chat here. Let me just scan it. Carr gone too far the other way in regards to checkdowns. First, it's too much, and now it's like, damn, dude, will you just check it down? No, totally. And I've kind of always been a fan of, like, when I want Derek Carr to push down the field, I love like 12-yard push down the field. I like that. Let the guy run after, I don't like sit there in the pocket, because if you're going to sit in the pocket, you have to buy time with your legs. That's the thing he never has been able to do. Even in 2016, he did it a little bit pre-injury. That's gone. Like, 2016. Is the world even the same? No. Why would Derek Carr be the same? Like, it's not going to be that. And I like the way Carr played last year. I thought last year was a clever balance between the two, where he was able to buy some time with his legs a little bit, make some big plays. That's fine. But you don't realize, like, you have better weapons now. You don't have to buy time to allow Zay Jones to get open. You don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to, like, like, oh fuck, let me just I gotta get over here. He's not open, he's getting locked up. Let me see if I can, hopefully he's open. Like you're gonna have the 7-yard Renfro route underneath. You're gonna have that. You're gonna have the Waller. You're gonna have that. Now he fell in love with his new toy, Devontae Adams, right? Well, who wouldn't? And on the other interception where he threw it deep, that's another one where I'm like, that takes a perfect throw for you to make it. A perfect throw. Now, to me, even on both of those interceptions, it's crazy that like he was punished to the fullest degree, right? Like sometimes guys don't make that catch. And that's what was like, damn, the Chargers might be really good because both guys made the catch running backwards and making the catch, right? Whereas when the Raiders would punch the ball out, the ball would just fly out of bounds, right? Rather like Gerald Everett, right, is going down to the goal line, gets punched, the ball gets punched out by Max Crosby, and it just rolls out of bounds. Whereas, like, I feel like anytime the Raiders do that, it goes out of the back of the end zone. Like, turnover luck is a thing, man. It sucks. No excuse. It just sucks. Like, it just never seems to go that way. Then the next play, Justin Herbert does that weird, like, I'm gonna slide. Never mind. I'm gonna slide. And then it's a penalty, blah, blah, blah. Touchdown Chargers. Whereas, like, sometimes when you throw the ball 60 yards downfield and the guy's running full sprint and he jumps up and catches it, you're like, oh my God, like that ended up being an interception. Like, it just sucks, you know? Sometimes you just want that to be like a pass breakup. You're like, okay, it wasn't there, or it wasn't the best throw. We reset. And it's like, fuck, it was punished to the fullest degree. Even the one to Waller, too. It's like, damn, like that was like nice play by the linebacker. Still doesn't vindicate the bad decision, but it's like, ugh, you know what I mean? It's kind of like if you like run a red light too late, you know what I mean? Like if you that thing was yellow, but it's a questionable red, but then you get T-boned, you're like, well, fuck, like I got T-boned. Shit, I was just kind of like trying to get past, you know, I was just trying to sneak through real fast. And sometimes you might get honked at or something. Sometimes you get T-boned, and that's what happened yesterday. Was the Raiders got T-boned every time they made a mistake. They really, really got punished to the fullest degree, and that's why. Again, there's a gun to my head off screen. There's a guy holding a gun. I have to say a couple nice things about the Chargers. These are not my words. The Chargers look like they're really fucking good. It's tough to admit. So, a lot of comments I'm seeing here. Carr doesn't know what he's doing in the pocket. I agree, which is why, in my opinion, the Derek Carr I like is Alex Smith Derek Carr. Make it run on time. Crisp. Make it run on time. Tempo. Couple step drop. Hit my guy. I don't care if it's 4 yards. Hit it. Positive gains. If you want to hit the ball down the field, if you want to, we know this offensive line isn't good. If we know the offensive line isn't good, Derek Carr has to know the offensive line isn't good. He's the one suffering from it if it's not good. But even then, they didn't play any worse than I thought they would. Like, I knew there was going to be some times where Joey Bosa just absolutely got home, or Khalil Mack. I knew that was going to happen. There was going to be times. But you do have to be able, you either have to get rid of the ball or you have to buy time with your feet. And much was said about the Raiders' lack of pass rush, but I thought Justin Herbert did an incredible job of when Max Crosby would win. Herbert knew that, and he's like, I'm out. And then he would be able to keep his eyes upfield. I mean, he's amazing at that. And to be fair, I think he's better than most quarterbacks in football at that. Like, I don't think it's the discrepancy is going to be that crazy. You know, the problem is they're all in our division, right? Like the guys that can do that, but you know, that's neither here nor there. And you know, just a little bit more, you know, I'll say this right now. A lot of this Raiders Twitter is tough because it ends up just being the Carr debate, right? And I've always looked at the Raiders holistically, right? The organization. Like I said earlier, I don't know if you guys were here on the live stream or anything. If sometimes you are looking at the Chargers with a great use of their draft picks, pretty much rounds 1 through 7, grabbing guys that contribute. Raiders hoping we're really good at finding diamonds in the rough, like Nate Hobbs and Max Crosby, who I'll talk a little bit more about later. But for the most part, like, we don't have a lot of that top end talent to step in, especially on the offensive line. And, you know, with Carr, you are limited. And that's why it sucks when you don't use those draft picks right. With Carr, you are limited in certain things. But there's also a way, I think, like, I think Carr needs to realize, like, stop trying to prove the haters wrong. Stop trying to win a Twitter debate on the field, you know? Like, Tom Brady, like, okay, you watch Tom Brady, right? This is what the reason I'm bringing him up is not because I think they're the same guy, but I think you can run the same offense for them. Does everybody else agree? You can run the same offense for Carr that you can for Tom Brady, which is what we're doing. Um, it's not going to be as obviously amazing as Tom Brady, but you can do the same things with Carr that you do with Brady. But if Brady doesn't have the offensive line that he wants, that ball's out. Out. I don't care if it's in the ground. Literally don't care. I don't care if you throw it at the foot of somebody. Like, that ball's out. I'm not getting hit. That ball's not coming out of my hand, fumbling, letting somebody scoop it up. It's not happening. So Carr, in my opinion, I think he's trying to be this amazing gunslinger Brett Favre quarterback when it's like, dude, you got Brady's offense. Run it like Brady. Copy him. All right. Now, occasionally you won't do the crazy like cyborg reads, but I do think he is, I don't think he's the Terminator that Brady is, but I do think he's a smart quarterback. I think the thing that he does is he lingers in the pocket too long. And the minute somebody backs into him, he gets thrown off his balance because his eyes are upfield. He's not able to use his legs while keep his eyes upfield. You can see that. It's evident. And it sucks, right? And he knows it too, right? He knows it. You can tell he knows it. He knows he's not playing the way he is supposed to play. And I don't mean that as far as results. I mean that as far as process. I think he knows. He's like, I'm just being too aggressive. I'm being aggressive to be aggressive. In those games last year, New York Giants, Chicago Bears, those games where he had really bad games, he was just sitting there holding the ball, trying to make a huge play all the time, when that's not what you are. And now the thing is you have to be less of that now, because you have these weapons. You have these weapons who can. I'm getting to McDaniels, by the way. I see the comments. I'm guys. I have the day off today. I got a little bit of time. Hopefully you guys do too. I'm talking Carr. I don't have a lot of notes here. I'm going off the top of my head, but be who you are. Like you have better weapons now too, to where like you don't even have to be as good at quarterback. It's true. You are able to. That route to Devontae Adams, the choice route where he left Samuel in the dust. Samuel thought it was a post. He just throws it. And Adams does a bunch of work. We didn't have that last year. It's evident and clear. And Adams' presence is supposed to alleviate Waller and Renfro. So why are we ever throwing it into double coverage? At least pick the one-on-one. Even if the guy's draped on him, pick the one-on-one, right? They're all getting paid top dollar. They're all making double-digit millions a year. So, you can expect great things out of them. So if you're Carr, I'm not saying as fans we need to do that. I think it was very fair to criticize Carr yesterday. I think he played awful. I think he was really bad. A couple nice throws, but really, really bad. And ultimately, you cannot give the Chargers extra possessions. It's really actually a credit to the defense that this game wasn't a blowout, to be honest. And one bad decision by Brandon Staley, but even then, that turned into a touchdown like a minute later. After that fourth down botched play by the Chargers. DJ asked, are we expecting too much of Carr? I think the run game needs to be more involved. No, we're not asking too much of Derek Carr. Derek Carr's trying to do too much himself. He's not that quarterback. I'll put it to you this way. Look at the NFC West last year. All right. Look at the NFC West. I always use this example for Carr. You had Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, who I'm not high on, but he's probably better than this other guy, Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Now, Stafford won the division, but Jimmy Garoppolo took his team to an NFC championship game. The times Jimmy G melted down was when he tried to do too much. But when Jimmy G was just play action, here's my first read, play action, here's my first read, trusting the offense and not trying to play hero ball, not trying to be Patrick Mahomes, not trying to be Justin Herbert, realizing that you're Derek Carr, that you're more in the Kirk Cousins Tannehill tier, in my opinion. That's when you get the best Carr. Because Brady, right? Like I bring up Brady again. When Brady's doing well, like it's not like, with the Buccaneers is different, but I'm talking about more Patriots. Brady, he's not like just chucking it down the field all the time when he sees a one-on-one. Most of the time, it's like, boom, boom, my read. Oh, tight end wide open over the middle. Boom, boom, boom. 10 yards here, 7 yards here, 5 yards here. And we're just marching down the field. Your defense is gassed. That's what I want. That's the Carr I want. because we've seen the longer Carr has the ball in his hands, the less I like him, right? I think that's fair for every Raider fan, right? Whether you hate the guy, whether you wish death upon him, I think the longer he holds the ball, the worse he is. Some quarterbacks aren't like that. You watch Justin Herbert, probably the opposite. But we don't have that guy. I don't think within the next year or so we're going to have that guy, personally. He's here. And there's some silver linings to it, which I'm going to get to the positives later. But two more things. The run game. People were kind of saying that we were running the ball well, which I disagree. The only time I saw the running game working the way that I wanted it to work was when it was a 2-score deficit, which the other team essentially lets you run the ball in a 2-score deficit, right? Because they're going to play their nickel defense. They expect you to try to throw your way back into the game, which that's what you do. And now, when I was watching the Cincinnati Bengals, because I do believe the Bengals and the Raiders are having the same problem right now, as far as week 1 losses, Joe Burrow's doing the same thing. He got all new offensive linemen. He's always had good wide receivers, but he had all new offensive linemen, but he's still getting sacked 7 times because he wants to hold the ball forever. And he can move, but he's not Lamar, and you are seeing that issue. It's like, man, trust your playmakers. And it doesn't have to be Adams every time. He'll learn that. I think he's going to learn the Adams thing doesn't have to be every play. I think what happens is like he listens to every media narrative. He's going to be like, I need to be Aaron. I need to be better than Aaron Rodgers. I need to give Devontae Adams 2,000 yards this year and 20 touchdowns. And it's like, you don't actually. We need to win football games, right? Now, that'd be great. I think we would win a lot of football games if Adams had that number, but we just lost and he had 140 yards and a touchdown, So it's not everything to get Adams these numbers. I think he's going to learn that, right? That's a super, super, supercharged on steroids, born in a lab somewhere, Michael Crabtree, right? Like Devontae Adams right there. Like he does everything that Crabtree did, but like times 50 for Carr. So of course he's going to like shoot ropes over that, And so I think that's something I kind of expected that early, that he was going to feature Adam. I think we all knew that we were just going to be Carr to Adams, and that was effective. I mean, you can't say it wasn't. There was a fade ball that in the end zone, which I'm not a huge fan of those fades, but I get why you try it with Adams. It just the timing looked off. Even though they went to college together, that doesn't mean that you have played in the NFL together. I think there's still a little bit of time that you have to learn that. I also don't buy into the preseason thing because I don't want those guys playing in the preseason, dude. I'm sorry. I saw what happened to Zach Wilson. Even if you hate Carr, if Carr did what Zach Wilson did in the preseason, we'd be so mad. We'd be so mad. But the run game, Jacobs looked fresh. I'll give him that. He looked fresh. He looked twitchy. Looked like he was running well. The lanes didn't open up. When running was actually on the Chargers' mind to stop on defense, which it's Brandon Staley. They rarely even care about the run, to be honest. It wasn't well. Yeah, exactly. You're seeing in the comments, big STD, Chargers, Vikings. None of these guys play in the preseason anymore. I get it with the Rams. And this is a new offense, though. I will say that much. And the Vikings are, too. And the Vikings, I wouldn't say exploded offensively. They more so shut Aaron Rodgers down on defense. There's something to the preseason thing. I just don't think the risk is worth it, personally. If you told me that we would start a little bit slow, but everybody would be healthy, all the key guys would be healthy no matter what, I'd probably still take that over the oh man, they're coming out crisp week 1. It just sucks that this was a division game week 1 against a rival, against a team with this much hype. McDaniels. Let's get to McDaniels. I'm less mad at him now than I was during the game, but 35 seconds left, 3 timeouts before the half. Fuck off. I need a drive out of that. You got to at least give me 1 pass attempt out of that. Look, if you pass, if you throw 2 incomplete passes, even then if you throw 3 incomplete, you punt it away, whatever. At that point, you're in a shootout. You need to realize you're in a shootout. You are playing Justin Herbert. You don't have Tom Brady. You need to push the ball. 3 timeouts in 35 seconds is enough time to at least get a touchdown or even a field goal. I mean, we wouldn't have felt great, but 17-6 and you get the ball in the second half. There's things that you can do. that is the type of thing I don't want to see. That, like, you go out and trade for, you pay this. I mean, everybody's making so much money. These pass catchers making so much money. Carr's making a bunch of money, and you don't want to take a chance at the end of the half. And people are saying, oh man, the offense wasn't really working at that time. That doesn't matter, man. You might get a pass interference call that changes. The game skews towards the offense nowadays, if you haven't seen with the officiating. PIs, all these kind of things, holding defense, defensive holding, roughing the passer. A lot of things can happen. Even just a big play. You got to try that, dude. 17-3 at the half is not the time that you're just like, all right, guys, let's pack it in. And now, to their credit, they came out banging in the second half. But I don't think that's because he put the timeouts in his pocket and then yelled at the team. I think it was, let's go try to get some points. Because they did. Their first drive, they moved it down the field. They just shit the bed in the red zone. I mean, where have we heard that before? But, that's the type of stuff, man. Like, these AFC West games, man, like, everybody knows how crazy the division is. These AFC West games, anytime that ball's in your hand, you have to be thinking 6 points at all times. I don't care how much time's left. I don't care how many timeouts you have, but you had 3 timeouts. So that's one thing Josh McDaniels needs to learn, because that was piss poor. Some of the play calls, I don't know. I think Carr needs to trust the offense a little bit more, because I think there's always an open throw in this McDaniels offense for the most part, and you just need to take it. And a lot of people mistakenly get mad at Carr for taking the checkdowns. I think checkdowns are good, especially when you have good weapons that can run after the catch. I watched that Bengals Steelers game, and the way Cincinnati got back into the game was just that throwing to their running backs. Truly. Throwing to their running backs middle of the field. It was just like 14 yards every time. And we, all that considered, you lost to a team which I feel good saying, or I don't feel good saying this, but I feel confident saying this. I think the Chargers are going to be, I don't know if they're the same old Chargers this year, but you never know. They always tend to surprise me later in the year with some debacle, but they look pretty damn good, and they look pretty tough. They don't look soft anymore. They look pretty good. I don't think there's a lot of teams that have the horses to stop the Raiders offense, right? Because they had Asante Samuel in the Bryce Callahan. I mean, Bryce Callahan did a hell of a job on Renfro. I mean, he really wasn't open a lot of times, other than that one for Waller that I think he should have hit. The 2-point conversion they try to throw to Renfro, I wish Carr ran that in. I think he could have ran that in. It doesn't sound like McDaniels wants him to run, though. I don't know if anybody saw that presser today. Doesn't sound like McDaniels really likes his quarterbacks running. Like, weird. I look, Carr is not a guy that uses his legs naturally anyways, but it's weird. Like, Gruden wanted him to run. McDaniels seems like the opposite. So just something to think about. I don't think the Arizona Cardinals have the horses in the secondary to keep up with the Raiders the way the Chargers do. I don't think they have the pass rush to come at the Raiders the way they did. And I don't think they have Justin Herbert at quarterback. I'm not high on Kyler Murray at all. I'm not a fan. I don't think he's good at all. If you want to watch the video on this channel, again, if you're subscribed, you would have seen it. The Alpha Beta Index NFC edition with Marcus Johnson. We talked about Kyler Murray. We're not fans. I don't know. I'm not as sad as I was yesterday, right? I don't think that, and I haven't even talked about the defense yet. That'll be the second half of this. I don't think there's going to be a lot of teams that can go bar for bar with the Raiders on offense. I mean, there might be teams that have good pass rush, but they might not have the people in the secondary to hold up in coverage. And there might be teams that, might be better against the run, but the Raiders could pick them apart in the pass game. I'd like to see a little more Amir Abdullah out there, a little less Brandon Bolden. I know he had the touchdown, but that's just Kyle Van Noy in coverage. Kyle Van Noy can't cover anybody. It's the reason why he is on a new team every single year. He's more sideline to sideline player. Well, yeah, no shit, Rich. I mean, it worries me too. Of course he's gonna fumble. That's why get rid of the fucking ball. You get rid of the damn ball. That's what I want. Step back, get rid of the ball. I don't care if it's 3 yards. That's what you need. You spent how much money in the offseason on these weapons? Let them run. Let them get the ball in their hands. Let them run. That's what I want. I don't want Carr sitting there in the pocket. That never has been good. That's never been a good strategy. Then you take your shot, man. The play action was there yesterday. That's the thing I had problem with McDaniels. Play action to Waller over the middle was lights out. Call that more. Make them stop that. Carr's never going to be a running quarterback. We're not going to do that. It's not going to happen. Yeah, that's what I mean. He doesn't move around in the pocket. That's what I mean. He doesn't. That's not going to change in year 9. I want the ball. I want the ball out of his hands. I want the ball out of his hands. That's the whole time. That's how you win with Derek Carr, is get the ball out of his hands, especially with this O-line. Get the ball out of his hands. McDaniels is weird too with shuffling so many people around the offensive line. I heard the Tape Don't Lie guys talking about it, and they were saying like it seemed like a preseason the way they were like shuffling. Let's try this unit now. Let's try this unit now, and it's like let's get a little continuity going. I don't think Andre James played bad. I don't think Dylan Parham played bad. Then all of a sudden you see Lester Cotton coming in when that didn't need to happen. But like these are things like I don't know. I don't think a lot of these guys. I don't think a lot of these guys are going to. This is a tough team. I think this is a very tough team. They're beatable. I mean, you were within one score of them. But even on that last drive, why you could have ran any play. Right. And Carr could have taken any read. We had time. We had 3 minutes. In fact, you wanted to take some time. But yeah, we're sitting there. We're sitting. We're trying to hit the kill shot. We're trying to hit that. No. Pick them apart. Pick them apart. Pick them apart. Clock management. Pick them apart. That's what I want. I want the Raiders to pick people apart. I'm tired. I'm tired of the. That's just not Derek Carr. Hey, the minute a new quarterback comes in, but let's do it. Let's do let's do it. But I don't know, man. That's not a winning strategy to me. And like I said, I think Derek's listening to Twitter too much, because Twitter mistakenly wants him to push the ball 30 yards down the field every play. That's not going to work. That's a square peg in a round hole. You have to win with your personnel, not make your personnel do things that other teams do. You win with your personnel. And like I said, that last drive, it seemed like they were playing as though they had 20 seconds left on the clock. They had 3 minutes and 2 timeouts. So I don't see that was kind of odd to me. I don't pretend to know Josh McDaniels' playbook the way the rest of Raiders Twitter seems to do. They tend to know exactly what the first read is on every play. They tend to know the progressions and all that stuff, but somehow aren't in football and coaching. So, I don't pretend to know that, but all I know is that like I don't want these 3.5 to 4 second developing long plays. I don't remember the Patriots doing that when they were good. I mean, maybe with Moss, but even then you still had Welker underneath you were picking people apart with, and then you were setting something up for Moss. Let's get back to that, because that was what was exciting me so much about Carr being here, was you were able to take away some of the unknowns out of the offense to where he was able to actually, I think Carr's smarter than most quarterbacks in the league. But again, the more I think he overthinks. I think the longer he has the ball in his hand, then he overthinks, and then it's disaster mode, right? So yeah, that's about it for that. I'm gonna go to the defensive side now. Defensive side, I saw a lot of people again getting on the pass rush. Watch the clips of Herbert. He is getting rid of the football. Herbert played the way I wanted Carr to do, despite not even speaking on mobility, moving around in the pocket, because he made some special plays like doing that. And that guy makes a few throws that I think maybe 3 quarterbacks in the league can make. But just the simple fact, Crosby was, well, where the Crosby sacks are. Herbert's getting rid of the ball. How many deep downfield passes did Justin Herbert throw? Deep down the field yesterday. Not that many. Do people call Herbert a conservative quarterback? No, they don't. They don't. People are dumb. People think conservative means 4-yard gain. Four-yard pass that turns into a 40-yard gain, that's considered aggressive. I don't know why, but the result is what they're talking about as far as conservative. What Herbert was doing was he was just planting that back foot, Keenan Allen, before he got hurt, planting that back foot, Gerald Everett, Mike Williams. It was just Josh Palmer. It was just spreading the ball around the field, and that's what I want to see out of there. But defensively, I thought they held the Chargers to 24 points. I think the entire goal for this AFC West, because look, everybody in the world's been talking about how it's this impossible division to win. The reason it's that way is because every game's going to be a shootout for the most part. Like this is going to be a shootout. You're gonna have to outscore these guys. Look, Rolling Dubs, you want me to just like go off on Carr for like an hour? Look, man, like I told you, didn't play ball. I mean, Carr's our issue. All right, what are you gonna do? Cut him right now? You're not gonna cut? Okay, it's quarterback for the next. Again, you're not gonna cut him right now. He's here. McDaniels took the job because I'm pretty sure that they liked the quarter and paid the quarterback that was here. He's tying his flag to him. Might be gone next year. You never know. I don't think so though. We're gonna have to win, and I think there's a way you can win. You could have won this game even with Derek Carr. I mean, it's not, but Carr lost the game. I'm willing to say it. Carr lost the game. You turn the ball over that many times, put the ball on the ground, 2-3 times, and then put the ball in the other team's hand 3 times. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. Now, the defense did play well, though. I thought the defense did a decent job in coverage. Again, you're never going to play perfect defense against this Charger team because Herbert can split coverage sometimes. You saw it, that touchdown. Blew my mind. I was like, fuck, I don't know what you do there. He just ripped it in there. I mean, the guy's huge, 6'6", throwing gas. Nate Hobbs did a fantastic job in coverage. Again, I was a little lower on him. I was a little scared to give him an expanded role. I was a little scared, right? I was kind of like, I don't know, he played well in that really limited role of the slot in Gus Bradley's defense. I was like, I don't know if I like them moving outside. Nah, I'm stupid. Shut up, Glenn. He looks like he can fucking play, man. He's a baller. 24 points. If I told you were going to hold the Chargers to 24 points, you'd all take it, right? You'd all take it. They did it. Sometimes that's all it comes down to. I still don't love Abram, even though he did he got better as the game went on. Abram is it's one of those guys that he seems like one of those guys you have to he's like the kid. He's like the kid that has like a million allergies where it affects what everybody else does at the party, right? Where it's like, you can't bring a peanut butter sandwich. You can't everybody else has to be conscious that Abram's on the field. Like he just cannot be in coverage at all. So, I still hate that he's like such a quote unquote special player, but not in the good way. That's always bothered me a little bit. And he just always seems to be just a half step late in coverage every time. There was another play with Eckler running where he just put his shoulder into him and Eckler didn't even move. Able to get the first down. But let's hope Merrick's injury isn't too bad. I thought Deron Harmon played really well. Divine Diablo, he's got the green dot on his helmet now, which is crazy. I guess he's the true 3-down linebacker. When he drafted him last year, I can't say that's what I saw happening, but he looks like he's doing some nice things out there. Defensive tackles, we knew that was going to be a problem this year. We have to hope that throughout the season, guys like Matthew Butler start coming on as far as pass rush. We have to hope that's the case, unless they want to go try to find Ndamukong Suh, which they do have money to do it. It's all about if he wants to come here and if the price is right for him. I wouldn't mind doing that because he is still a good pass rusher in a limited role. There's Crosby, I thought was great. People just want a million sacks. You do have to finish, but I think Herbert really, his game plan was just get rid of the ball. the game plan that I wanted the Raiders to have, basically, and on offense. But Chandler Jones, people are like, "Where's Chandler Jones?" I didn't get the vibe that he was terrible. Rashawn Slater was on him for most of the game, and Rashawn Slater's a very good tackle. And he did get there a few times. He beat Rashawn Slater a few times, but again, Herbert is very, very good, very, very good pocket awareness. He gets rid of the ball. That's what this game came down to, is who got rid of the ball and who held on to it. We held on to it. The Chargers didn't, right? And again, Herbert, as good as he played, kind of a, one touchdown in the second half. I mean, that's not great. That's not great. So, I'm not overly mad because, again, I don't think there's not a lot of NFL teams that have that deep of roster the way the Chargers do. Now there's teams that are better coached. I think Brandon Staley's still not a very good coach. As far as game management, in-game decisions, everybody's seen that. Some terrible, terrible stuff. And yeah, it is week 1. The problem is we played a division game week 1. That's the problem. We got outplayed. We got outplayed. A better quarterback won. The better quarterback won, and that's going to be the problem. Now, that's all I'm saying is that not always. It's not a guarantee that the better quarterback wins, though. And there was a way for the lesser quarterback to win that game, independent of how Herbert played. And I think Carr just needs to go back to basics, man, and stop trying to be something that he's not, because I think he's listening to Twitter. And that's one of his worst things, is he has rabbit ears. He hears everything. And I'd rather him completely black out of social media. So again, you got to win this game next week. You never want to say week 2 is a must win, but when you lose week 1, it is. Check the stats about 0-2 teams making the playoffs. The numbers are not in your favor. Good thing is they're playing a team that is in an even worse spot than the Raiders right now. They ran into a buzzsaw Kansas City team, and the Cardinals look like they couldn't do nothing right. I'm not high on Kyler Murray. I think a lot of people mistakenly are, because he runs around. That's simply the way people look at the game sometimes, is because when you have a guy like Derek Carr, you tend to want all the quarterbacks that run around. But Kyler Murray has the same issue. Truly, he has the same issue. Just fucking sits there. He cannot see the middle of the field, and he's limited. He's very limited in his height in that way. He does not have DeAndre Hopkins. The Raiders are very lucky in that sense that they will be playing them without their best receiver. And I think, hopefully JJ Watt takes another week off. I'm hoping that, but at the end of the day, that shouldn't be the guy that wins the game for them. 33, 34-year-old defensive end, like it shouldn't be. And there's no excuses next week. You gotta really, I think it would all wash the bad taste in our mouth out if they just come in and win that game, right? Just come in and win that game, look better than the Cardinals, because I think they are better than the Cardinals. I think one thing about this division is that it is so good that any team that loses is going to look a lot worse than they really are. I think the Raiders are a product of an insanely good division. And I think if the Raiders were in the NFC North, I think they'd be up there with the best, or if even in the NFC East, they'd be up there with those teams. They're in a gauntlet of a division. So I think when they start playing outside these division games, I think you're going to see them be the better team. I am not down on this team. I don't like the way Carr played. I hope McDaniels ripped him a fucking new one. And I think he did, because McDaniels was fair, but very critical in the press conference. And anytime you see a coach that's fair and critical in the press conferences, the minute that door is closed, he's ripping them a new one. It's a grown man. You're going to rip him apart. It's going to happen. He had pretty much the same take. McDaniels had the same take as I did, where it was like, yeah, it just wasn't a good throw to Waller. I still don't like that decision. Again, I like check down Carr. Give me check down Carr. Some people don't. Whatever. I think I'm right. So I think that's it for me, guys. It was nice talking to you guys. Shout out to everyone who came in and watched. I can't say that I'm going to do these all the time. I had the day off today, so it was easier for me to do it. I'm very busy with my other stuff, with Rare Candy. Gonna try to do a lot of sports stuff. Subscribe to our Substack, rarecandy.substack.com. There's free and paid subscription options. And subscribe to this YouTube channel. Again, whenever I can, I'll do it. I'm gonna try to get Matt Fallon on here again. Both of our power went out last time, so if that stream felt abrupt, it's because we both lost power during the fucking California microwave week from hell. Yeah, so that's it for me, guys. Everybody have a safe week. I think we're in for a good game coming up. A good game meaning Raiders look better. I feel very confident about that. Not panicked yet. Just need to see a little change in style of play. So unfortunately, I won't be able to watch the game live. I'm going to tape it. My dad is a Rams fan, and we're gonna. You guys will kill me for this, but my dad's never been to a Rams game in person, so he finally bought tickets to SoFi. We're gonna go be at the Rams Falcons, and it's the thing you do for your father, but I will be watching it on a delay. So, but